Good evening, dear ladies. Bezrat Hashem, we met yesterday, we're meeting today. Baruch Hashem, Hashem loves us. I would like to bless all of us that we will all have zchut to greet Mashiach tzidkenu b'chamim u'im b'mera b'yameinu amen. Eliyahu Navi, Eliyahu Tishbi, Eliyahu Geledi, b'mera yabon Mashiach David, Eliyahu Navi zechur latov. And we all have the zchut to see the building of Beit HaMikdash HaShishi b'mera b'yameinu amen. כי עין בעין יראו בשוב אדוני ציון. אתה תקום תרחם ציון כי עת לחננה כי בא מועד. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו כקדם. And may we all have the zchut to go to the land of Israel on the wings of eagle, and may we all have part in Eretz Israel, in the land of Israel. Dear ladies, בסייעתא דשמיא בשם השם נעשה ונצליח, אין עוד מלבדו, השם שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. So I would like, this shiur is going to be about Parashat Metzorah. This Shabbat is Metzorah, it's Shabbat HaGadol. We spoke about Shabbat HaGadol yesterday. So, and this Bezrat Hashem is also the portion of Metzorah. Because it's a leap year, usually Tazria Metzorah is together, but it's a leap year, so we have each one of them separately. And the shiur is Leilu Nishmat Arav Chaim Kanevsky, Alav Shalom, תהי נשמתו בצורה צורה חיים, זכותו תגן עלינו. לעילוי נשמת הרב אריה גמליאל בן ורדה ויחיה, עליו השלום, תהי נשמתו בצורה חיים, זכותו תגן עלינו. לעילוי נשמת רחל בת קמר לבנה ונתן, עליה השלום, תהי נשמתה בצורה חיים. And לרפואה שלמה, and for health, mentally and physically, בעזרת השם, לשרה בת מלכה, לרבקה בת שרה, לך עידית יהודית בת רחל, רחל בת פסיה, ליונה בת זרה זוהרה, בעזרת השם למרדכי בן רבקה, and רחל חיה בת לאה שרה, ושרה רחל בת חסידה שרה, and everybody that needs from Aleph to Taf, בעזרת השם, and everybody that is healthy, may Hashem continue their health, and בעזרת השם, everything is also לעילוי נשמת all of the victims of terror in Israel, בעזרת השם, תהי נשמתם בצורה חיים, and Hashem ייקום דמם. Hashem will revenge them. So, dear ladies, we are in Parashat Metzorah. And Parashat Metzorah deals with leprosy. So, in the times when the children of Israel were in the desert, when a person did a sin, immediately, that there was like all the people were like white sheet. And when there's a sin, there was just one spot on the sheet, and immediately Hashem made them a leprosy, made them that they will see that they did a sin, and they repented at that same time, and Hashem and they continued because they had a part in Olam HaEmet, in the true world. So the difference between us and them, that they were very holy. And today, their leprosy on slandering is on the soul. We don't see it. So that's why you see people who go slander, say Lashon Hara, and also lie about people, and they're not accountable for anything. Know that the leprosy is on their soul. Because today we don't have the merit that the children of Israel had when they were in the desert. They are called Dor Hadat, the generation of knowing. So it says, וידבר השם אל משה לאמור, זאת תהיה תורת המצורע. This is the law of leprosy. So it says in Midrash Rabbah, Vayikra Rabbah, it says like this, that there are 5 laws, 5 Torot that are considered as Metzorah, that are written like the leprosy. It goes, זאת תורת נגע מצורע, נגע צרעת. This is the leprosy, this is the law of the affliction of leprosy. And then it continues in Parashat Metzorah, זאת תורת אשר בו נגע צרעת. This is the law that has לבריאות, that has the leprosy, the affliction of leprosy. And then again, זאת התורה לכל נגע הצרת. This is the law to all of the affliction of leprosy. And again it says, in a different pasuk, זאת תורת הצרת. This is the law of leprosy. And again it goes, זאת תהיה תורת המצורע. This is the law, the Torah of leprosy. we see 5 times in Parashat, in the portion of Metzorah, it repeats itself, the affliction of leprosy. And why is it mentioned 5 times? In order that we will know that he or she who slanders other people, I'm not speaking about saying lies about other people, I'm speaking about slandering. Slandering, Lashon Hara, is about true things. That slanders other people, it's like they went over all of the 5 books of the Torah, Bereshit, Shmot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, Vedvarim. All the 5 books of the Chamisha Chumshei Torah, all of the 5 books, they went against all. ללמדך שכל האומר לשון הרע עובר על כל 5 חומשי תורה. So just see how serious it is. We know that the first temple was ruined because of 3 sins that it says that you should die and not do these sins. And the sins was, the first sin is worshipping other gods. The second one is murdering. And the third one is having intimate relationships that are forbidden. The second temple was ruined because of baseless hatred. Baseless hatred, says Masechet Arachin, in the Gemara Masechet Arachin, page 16, is parallel to the 3 sins that the Torah said that you are not allowed to go over them, you should die and don't do them. The 3 sins, which is worshipping other gods, having intimate relationship that is forbidden, and murder. And this is parallel to slandering. Can you imagine how it's serious slandering? Hashem says that the evil inclination doesn't have a mouth. But once a person in this world starts slandering, then it gets a mouth. Then it has a mouth. Satan doesn't have a mouth. We give him the mouth by slandering each other. So we give them a mouth. It says in Masechet Arachin, in the Gemara, page 15, Amud Aleph, Amud Bet, it says like this. Hashem says, Omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem says, Lasar Shel Ginom, to the angel of hell, when a person says a Lashon Hara, Ani alav milemala, Hashem says, I am going to judge him in heaven, ve'ata alav milemata, and you're going to judge him over here in this world. Can you imagine how serious this is? And we are going to the 5 books of the Torah. And it says, and I'm giving just examples. In Bereshit, we know the first one that started slandering is the snake, the serpent. He says to Chava, to Eve, he says to her, Min ha'etz achal u'bara et ha'olam. From this tree Hashem ate, and from this he created the world. And then we go, and you know that Hashem gave him 10 curses, and not only 10 curses, but Hashem doesn't want him even to pray for him for his food. So he told him that earth is going to be his food, so because we have earth all over the world, he doesn't need to ask from Hashem, because this is how Hashem is discussed with him. You remember that when we learned about Yoshua, and Yoshua was the student of Moshe Rabbeinu, Yoshua was sitting in the tent and studying Torah. And Yoshua was the one that became a king of the children of Israel after Moshe Rabbeinu. And now they are going to start conquering the Eretz Canaan, the land of Canaan. And Hashem tells him to start with Yericho. And Yericho has big walls around her, 3 big walls, one inside the other, big walls around her. And Yoshua tells everybody not to touch anything in that city. And Achan from the tribe of Judea touches, and nobody touched from all of the children of Israel. And because of this, when they go and fight after that, they go to fight, they lose the war. And Yoshua tears his clothing, and he says, Hashem, you told us that we're going to win, you're going to be with us, what happened? Hashem says, somebody touched gold and jewelry inside the city of Yericho. So, 1 person out of all of the children of Israel. So Yoshua says, please Hashem, tell me who it is. And Hashem tells him, do you think that I'm going to be a slander? I'm not slandering. And this is telling the truth about the person who sinned. this is telling a truth. And Hashem tells him, I'm not going to slander. So he made a pool, a lottery, among all of the tribes, and then among when the tribe of Judah came out, then among all of the families, and then in the family among the members of the family. But this is how Hashem doesn't like slandering. So we see that in Bereshit, we know the first one was the serpent. Then we come to Shmot. And in Chumash Shmot, we see that two people are fighting among each other, which was Datan and Abiram. They were brothers. They were fighting with each other. And we see that Moshe Rabbeinu came to them and he says, Rasha, lama takeh re'echa? He says, don't raise your hand to hit your friend, a wicked person. Don't raise your hand. He wasn't hitting him, but he was just raising his hand to hit him. So he tells him, Rasha, lama takeh re'echa? He says, don't, a wicked person, why do you want to hit your friend? So they tell him, you're going to judge us, you're going to do this, what you did to the Egyptian, and they go and they slander him in front of Paro, of Pharaoh, and then he has to run away, and they tell Pharaoh that he killed the Egyptian and he buried him, and you remember the earth covered him. So we see that over here, and then he says, and then Moshe Rabbeinu says, now I know why we are under this slavery. And then Moshe Rabbeinu has to run away from Egypt. And remember that Datan and Abiram are also the ones that lit the disagreement with Korach and all of his people. You remember Korach, that Hashem opened the mouth because it starts with a mouth, and we know the sin of the first human being was with a mouth. He sinned by eating from the tree of knowledge, good and bad, and by slandering his wife, because Hashem told him, what did you do? Why are you hiding? Ayeka, where are you? And he told him, did you eat from the tree of knowledge? That's why you feel ashamed? How did you know that you're naked? And so he tells him, the woman that you gave me. So he sinned with the mouth by eating, and with the mouth by being ungrateful to Hashem for the wife that he gave him. So we see all of this, we remember the machloket of Korach, and we go to Chumash Vayikra, and Chumash Vayikra, the Torah warns us, Lo telech lachil ba'amecha. You're not allowed to gossip about your nation, and especially about not only your nation as a whole, but also for each person in the nation. And we see Bamidbar, Miriam goes to Aaron and she tells him, and Miriam was so righteous, she was a prophet, she didn't have any sin. She was so righteous, in her merit the children of Israel went out of Egypt. So we see that she tells Aaron, I saw Tzipporah, the wife of Moshe Rabbeinu, a brother, and she's like Aguna, because her husband doesn't come to her. So she doesn't pretty herself for her husband, she doesn't do anything. We should speak to Moshe Rabbeinu. She didn't mean to say anything that wasn't good about Moshe Rabbeinu. She just wanted to make peace between him and his wife. She didn't understand that he speaks to Hashem face to face, and Hashem agrees with him that he cannot be with his wife because all the time the Shekhinah is above him. The divine presence is above him. And because of this, she had a leprosy, and she sat outside of the camps for 7 days, and all of the children of Israel were waiting for her because she was righteous. Think about Miriam. We remember this every morning at the end of Shacharit, the 10 remembrance. And one of them is, Zechor et asher asa Hashem Elokecha leMiriam b'derech b'tzetchem mimitzrayim. Remember what Hashem, your God, did to Miriam when you went out of Egypt. Can you imagine? It isn't even considered slandering. But this is what Hashem made in Miriam in order that we will be cautious. And if Hashem did this to Miriam the prophet, furthermore to us, that we are not righteous like Miriam, that we are all considered intermediate, benoniim, or chas v'shalom if we are considered wicked. So furthermore in us, why don't we see the people? Because even the media has it's not only slandering, but also lies. You never know what is true and not true. You can't believe anything. You just need to cling to Hashem. והאמת נהדרת. It says at the end of days, truth will be missing. You'll have to seek for truth, because it won't be easy to find truth. So how do we find truth? We cling to Hashem, because His seal is truth. Bereshit bara Elokim. In the beginning, Hashem created. And the end letters is truth, emet. Asher bara Elokim לעשות. At the end of the creation, it's written that Hashem did. At the end, Hashem did. Asher bara Elokim לעשות. The end letters, again, is truth. This is the seal of Hashem, truth. So if we want to cling to Hashem, we need to cling to truth. And we have to ask from Hashem that we will have the merit, the zchut, to see the truth out of the falseness, because today it's very hard. Mamash, to see the truth out of falseness and not to fall in slandering, in motzi shem ra, into giving a person chas v'shalom a bad name, chas v'shalom, because of the things that we say, and chas v'shalom that we won't write anything about anyone that is not good. Because when we write things either in letters or a document, eventually this comes to heaven too. And if it's also published, then the lashon hara, the slandering, or if it's true, or if it's not true, if it's lies, it's all over. We can't even fix the sin. It's when a person slanders a person, it's very hard to fix the sin, because once you spoke with someone and you told him, this someone tells to another person, this tells to another person, and now let's find all of the people that heard this, and now they have the akduma, they just have a thought about this person, even if they didn't meet this person, even if they don't know this person, but once they see him, they say, well, I heard something about this person. So they already have judgment about this person. That's why it says במסכת ערכין, and also בסייעתא דשמיא, בחובת הלבבות של רבנו בחיי, it says over there, in שער הקנייה, in the gate of Kniya, chapter 7, it's written like this, that 3 people die from lashon hara. Which means a person who slanders, he kills 3 people. So this is harsh than a killing, literally murdering a person. Because if you murder a person, you murder one soul. So you took him from this world, but he still has the true world. You didn't damage his soul, you just took his part in this world. But if you slander a person, you kill 3 people. And you take also their part in the true world. Why? You kill yourself, this is one, the one that hears the slandering, and the one that is spoken about. The one that is spoken about, you make him problems in this world. And chas v'shalom, it can cause also murdering. It depends what the lashon hara is, what the slandering is, or the lie that you're telling about him is. So you can chas v'shalom kill him in this world too. But what happens is that why are the three of these people, the one that says, the one that hears, and the one that is spoken about? The one that hears is supposed to stop the one that is speaking and tell him, I don't want to hear. Please, I know that if we speak, Hashem opens 3 books in heaven immediately. That's what Hashem says. I will judge him up in heaven, and Satan will judge him in this world. So Hashem opens 3 books immediately. The book of the person who is speaking, the book of the person that hears, and the book of the person that is spoken about. And now what does Hashem do? Hashem takes the merit of the person that is speaking, and the merit, which means the mitzvot, the commandments that they follow, the good deeds that they did, the one that spoke, the one that heard. He takes their merit and gives and puts it in the book of the one that was spoken. And from the one that is spoken, he takes his sins and puts them in the book of the one that heard the slandering and the one that spoke the slandering. Who is punished worse? The one that heard the slandering. because he was supposed to have mercy upon the soul of his friend and tell him, I don't want to hear. Please don't do it. We say Tehillim, we say Perek Shira, we try to do Bikur Cholim, to visit sick people and to give charity and do good deeds. So I don't want to give my good deeds to other people. I want them to stay with me. It's written beautifully in the book of Chovat HaLevavot. Like this, he says, וכבר סופר לאחד מאנשי החסד, that there was a rabbi that he was slandered, והגיע הדבר, and he heard this thing that he was slandered, אז שלח לו אותו שדיבר עליו לשון הרע, מגש מלא מזמרות עירו. So he sent it a big plate with a lot of good things inside, which is chocolate and sweets and cookies, a lot of good things inside. And he wrote to him, נודע לי אחי, my brother, it came known to me, שאתה התשרת לי מזכויותיך, that you gave me from all of your merit, from all of your mitzvot, all of your good deeds and commandments that you followed. לכן ראיתי לגמול לך בזה. So I decided to give you back a reward, a present, to give you sweet things, because you rewarded me with your tefillin that you put on yourself and the charity that you gave. You rewarded me by speaking about me. So he sent him a plate with good things inside to say thank you for all of the merit that you gave me. So it says like this, לכן ראיתי לגמול לך בזה, וכבר אמר אחד הצדיקים, יש שיבואו רבים מבני אדם ליום הדין. So once we go out of this world, we'll come to the true world. We'll come to judgment in court of heaven, the court of heaven, and we will stand in front of the court. So he says, once we stand in front of court, there will people that they will show us all of our actions, all of our deeds. יגישו לפני מעשיהם, ימצאו בפנקס זכויותיהם, זכויות שלא עשו. And then they will see that, wow, I didn't do this mitzvah. It's not mine, I didn't do it. So it says like this. And they will say, we didn't do this mitzvah because this is the world of truth. And you know you didn't do this mitzvah. So how come these commandments or good deeds that are written in my book and I didn't do them? How did they come there? ויאמר להם עשאום אשר יכלו נגדכם. Now pay attention. It's written that all of these good deeds that you didn't do, you got it from all of the people that slandered you, that gossiped about you. It's much a free gift. Baruch Hashem, a free gift. והוציאו עליכם שם רע, and they made a bad name for you. So Hashem took all of their good deeds and put it in your book. וכן כאשר ינוכו זכויות הולכי רכיל. And then when a person who slandered other people, and you know there are also people that go out of their way because they want to be liked by people, I don't know, or maybe that they mamash lie about people. They make up stories that the people will want to hear from them. And you know, the way of slandering is that everybody's silent. They don't go and ask if it's true or not true. Before you say something to your friend, you need to know if it's necessary to tell him. He needs to know this information. You want to take your zchuyot, your merit out of you and to give it to somebody else? And don't forget, in the measure that we measure for others, Hashem measure for us. So if we closed our tongue and we didn't say anything, Hashem will see, Bezrat Hashem, that even Satan, Hashem will close his mouth, that he can't prosecute us. Because in the measure that a person measures, Hashem measures for him. So he says the people who gossip and slander other people, and this is gossiping and slandering. Furthermore, if a person makes stories and lies about a person, and they will say, well, I followed so many commandments and I did so many good things. Where are they? It's not in the book. And they will tell them, we cleansed this from your book and we gave it to all the people that you spoke about. Can you imagine a whole life in this world and then you come and you don't have anything? Nothing? You cleansed yourself? Can you even grasp this with the mouth? Because we came to fix the mouth. The first human being sin was with the mouth, with eating and speaking. So we need to cleanse our speech. So ויאמר להם נוקו לכם כאשר דיברתם לשון הרע נגד פלוני ופלוני. וכן גם אפשר שימצאו מקצתם בפנקס רעותיהם רעות שלא עשאו. And then they will find in their books not only that their good deeds were cleansed from them and other people got their good deeds, but they have sins that they didn't do. And they will say, what's going on here? This is the true world. And Hashem will tell them, yes, this is the true world. You slandered other people, you made quarrels between other people, you caused hatred, baseless hatred between a husband and a wife, friends, you caused separation, you caused suffering to another human being, when all of the children of Israel are responsible for each other. כל עם ישראל ערבים זה לזה. So because of this, we took out of a part of your merit. We gave it to the person that you spoke about. And we took his sins and we gave it to you. That's a fair exchange. You caused him problems in this world. Hashem, the judgment is true. You can't run away. It says in Yirmiyahu the prophet, "Haimisater ish b'mistarim v'ani lo erenu." Naum Hashem, can somebody hide from me and I will not see him? Hashem sees everything. There's an eye that sees everything, an ear that hears everything, and all of your actions are written in a book. For a minute of feeling in this world, oh, now I'm accepted because I made a story about somebody, everybody wants to hear what I'm saying. For a minute of doing this, for a minute of false pride and false feeling that you're accepted, you lose your true world. And this is for eternity. So it says, he says, וכאשר יכחשום ויאמרו, when they will say, but I didn't do these sins. And they will, יאמר להם, הורדתם אותם מפלוני ופלוני, אשר איחלתם נגדם ודיברתם עליהם לשון הרע ונתחייבתם בהם. And because you slandered them, this is slandering and saying, which means saying the truth about somebody. So it says, because you did this, and not, which is, if you chas v'shalom lie about somebody, this is worse than this. This is because of this we took all their sins and this person's sins and we added it to your book. Can you imagine? So what happens to a person who slanders a person? So he goes out of 3 camps. This is how the children of Israel in the desert sat down. In the middle camp, there was the camp of the Shekhinah, the divine presence. Around this camp was the camp of the Levites. Around this camp was the camp of the Israelites. So he goes out of 3 camps, sits alone, in a tent alone, nobody can come to him. He puts a scarf around his mouth, just like we have now. We had, during the time of the plague, a mask. What does Hashem want from us? Our mouth. From eating things that are not kosher and for speaking things that are not kosher. Which means instead of speaking things that will uplift the world, uplift human beings, give them a good energy, happiness, make their day. A big zchut, a big mitzvah. You remember we spoke in Baba Batra, I think it was page 9, that Hashem says that when a person gives tzedakah, Hashem blesses him with 6 blessings, because 6 is the Vav Avidui, is confession. Because he's only a messenger of Hashem, so this is the money of Hashem that he gives. But if he gives him a good word, and he uplifts his soul, Hashem blesses him with 11 blessings. 11 is completing the name of Hashem, because the name of Hashem is half of it now is only half until Amalek is eliminated. So it's written in בסוף פרשת בשלח, כי יד על כסיה מלחמה להשם בעמלק מדור דור. That there's a war that Hashem has with Amalek from generation to generation, and the name of Hashem is half. But if you give a good word to a person from your good soul, don't be cheap with good words, and mean it, And even if at the beginning you don't mean it, you teach yourself. That's how you teach yourself. That's why we came to this world, to fix ourselves. So you teach yourself to become a better human being, to become deservable of the term human being. That's why we came, to fix our character traits and to emulate the ways of Hashem, the ways of God. So He's merciful, we are merciful. Hashem is not merciful, but also with His words. So we need to be merciful with our words and not cut people with our words like a knife. And always greet everybody with a smile, even if we go through challenges and even if we go through hardships in life. We should always bring good energy to every person that we meet, especially at home, to our children, our husbands, and the husbands to their wife, and not shout in the home and be angry all the time, that it makes your wife also angry, and the children, and that there's a atmosphere of fright in the house, of fear in the house. But there should be an atmosphere of holiness, of happiness. Life is short. Nobody knows when they go out of this life. We all came in, but once we come in, we know we go out. But nobody knows when. Even King David didn't know when, and he asked Hashem, and Hashem told him, "I can't tell. This is not revealed to no one." And so he said that, "Please tell me at least on what day." He told him, "Okay, on Shabbat." So nobody knows when we go out of this world. So we can choose. It's our choice to live in hell all of our lives. We can choose to live in paradise all of our lives. How do we live in paradise all of our lives? By having good energy. How do we do this? It's not easy. And I'm smiling, but I know it's not easy. I also go through this several times a day. So I'm telling you what I practice. So how do we do this? For example, you have hardships with your children, with other people. Doesn't matter. First of all, forgive everyone. Don't have any cheshbon, any account with anyone. Why? Because if you have account and you didn't forgive people, you come back to this world because you have to meet them again. Hashem does not forgive for sins between us and other human beings. We have to come back and we have to fix this. And everybody wants to stay under the throne of Hashem. We all want to be in paradise under the throne of Hashem, with all of the beautiful rivers and the smells that is in the paradise in this world, and then with the Shekhinah, the light of Hashem that we have in paradise of heaven. So we all want to enjoy it. So Rabbi Nachman Bresler says you can be all of your life here in this world in paradise, and you can choose to be in hell all of your life, angry, anxious. You don't want to speak to people, get hurt from everyone, every small thing you get hurt. You close yourself, you don't speak with people. But you can be exactly the opposite. Bring light, bring the light of Hashem to other people by having a smile. And it's not hard to have a smile, even if I don't. Somebody asked me, well, if I don't have it in my heart, so it's like I'm a hypocrite. No. You teach yourself. That's why you came. If it's hard for you to smile to people and to be nice to people, then you teach yourself how to do it. That's why this is your fixing. The Arizal, Zchut Hagan Aleinu, says that what is hard for you to do, this is your fixing. And because today, in all the days, people knew what they came to fix because they were more sensitive to the truth. They were true to themselves, so they knew. But now we are also false with ourselves. We forgive ourselves. We don't forgive other people, but we forgive ourselves. Just to feel good with ourselves. And we don't remember that eventually we're going to court of heaven and we're going to be judged. And every night we are judged over everything that we do. So it's nonsense. Hevel. King Solomon says, Hevel avalim. Everything is nonsense. Hevel, hey, bet lamed, nonsense. Hakol bara lichvodo. Everything that Hashem created, this is the initials of Hakol bara lichvodo. Everything that Hashem created is for His sake. So we can choose to be nice and to be happy, even if we have hardship. How can we make ourselves happy? B'siyata dishmaya, we read a perek of Tehillim. we read Perek Shira. We say thank you to Hashem. Gam zo letova. Also this is for good. It's for our best interest, because the one that knocks on our door is Hashem. Hashem is our Father in heaven. And there's no father that wants bad things for his children. So we know that if Hashem knocks on our door, it's only for good things. Look what Hashem does. He has mercy. Or HaChaim HaKadosh says in Parashat Metzorah, in the portion of Metzorah, we need to look about how does Hashem knock on the door. So first of all, he doesn't go directly to the body of the person. The first thing that he does, he gives leprosy in the house, in the walls of the house. Then the leprosy goes to the clothing of the person, the white clothing of the person. And if the person didn't wake up, then it goes to his body. And we have it today also. It starts with things that are going wrong in the house. You just pay attention. It can be a refrigerator, an oven, things that are in the house, the plumbing. This is Hashem knocking on our door. Says, wake up. There's something that you need to fix. So you say, Hashem, chatati aviti pashati, please show me what I need to fix. Once we say this, Hashem doesn't let destructive angels continue to touch us. He says, wait, my son or my daughter wants to do tshuva. But if we don't understand, it goes to our clothing. Either the clothing are torn or a button goes out. This is the clothing. In the time of the desert, when the children of Israel were in the desert, literally on the clothing they would see leprosy. Literally on the walls of the house they will see leprosy. So we see that the button went out, or the coat or the shirt was torn. We need to sew it. Hashem, okay, we are speaking to us. But this is in a gentle way he's speaking to us. It doesn't touch our body. But if we didn't understand, then it comes to the body. And today what happens, person who slanders has leprosy. Ha'al-Shech HaKadosh says, today, because we are not pure like we used to be and righteous like we used to be, the leprosy is on the soul. Oy va'avoy lo. God forbid for the people who slander, who make a bad name to other people, and who continue are not afraid of Hashem. They should take, even if they are rabbis, even they are rabbitzin, even if they are teachers, even they are principals, even if they are presidents, they are kings. How much merit has a nation that the king of the nation says, I've sinned to Hashem. I need to change my ways. We learned this from Yehuda. Yehuda was the head of the Sanhedrin. They were almost burning Tamar, his daughter-in-law, because she was pregnant, and he didn't give her his son, the third son. He didn't give her, so nobody knew from who she was pregnant. And she had such respect to him, she didn't want to make him ashamed. So she didn't say from whom she was pregnant. But the only thing she did, she showed all of the three things that he gave her. And him, the head of the Sanhedrin, he said, Satka, she's right, mimeni. It's from me she got pregnant. How much merit has a generation that has such righteous leaders? Because if the leaders are not righteous, then what can we ask from the body, which is us? So how much merit we can have if the leaders are righteous and they change their ways? Because the fish smells from the head, not from the body. It starts from the head. Adag masriach me'arosh. So we see we can choose to be in heaven in this world and speak good to other people and also speak good about ourselves. I told you now that the person who has leprosy goes out of 3 camps. Why? And he sits alone and he closes with a scarf his mouth. Hashem wants him to think about all of the things that he did. Hashem wants peace among the children of Israel. And if he caused quarrels and disagreement among the children of Israel, he puts him away. And he wants him to think and do tshuva. And what does he need to give? When he starts the purification, when Hashem cleanses him, he starts the purification process. He brings 2 birds. And why a bird? Because a bird speaks svitz, svitz, svitz all the time. So he reminds me of all of the slandering that he said. And this one bird is slaughtered, one is set free. One means life, one means death. You cause death to other people by killing them with your mouth. Now bring life. What does it mean to bring life with our mouth? To speak holiness, good things, to give good advices, to see the merit of other people. B'siyata dishmaya, to study Torah. To study the Torah and teach others, Be'ezrat Hashem. Lilmod shal menat la'asot, lilmod shal menat lelamed. So b'siyata dishmaya, to bring life. And then he brings cedar, okay, cedar branch, and he brings grass, and there's a red string that is tied to, and it's also put together, and all of this to show him, why did you slander others? Because you felt a pride, you felt you're better than other human beings. You know, to feel better than other human beings, it's nonsense. We all have waste. How can we feel better than other human beings? We all need to eat. Does somebody eat gold and others eat food? It's even not logical. It's only the evil inclination that lets us feel vanity, that we are better than others, our children are better than others. Oh, chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom. Chas v'shalom. Chaye banei umezonei, which means life and children and parnasa and income are in the hands of Hashem. All of this is by the luck and that of a human being. So chas v'shalom, that we will have vanity over nonsense, over things that we don't even have control over them. You see people that take their children to yeshiva and teach them, and eventually they go off the way. They choose a different path. And you see people that didn't have any connection to, and they were not observant, and any connection to Torah, and their children go back and they study Torah and they become avrechim. Unbelievable. So the merit of this person did not, the parents did not influence that boy. It's in the hand of Hashem. So we can see that we shouldn't have any vanity. So Hashem says the cedar tree is the tallest. You had vanity. Now I'm going to put you down like the grass. The grass is low on the ground. So you'll be humble. You humble yourself in front of me. And remember, you're just a human being. You're passing through this world. So there's no reason that you will feel arrogance, vanity. You know, it's not only that we need to find the good things in other people, the merit of other people, and be happy. And when we are sad at home, we should dance. We should sing to ourselves, mitzvah gadol aliyot besimcha, and dance. Even if we don't feel that. Because it will uplift all of our organs, we'll feel it. We do the mitzvah with all of our organs, say, Hashem, I love you. This is mamash fulfilling a mitzvah, following a commandment, because we are commanded to love Hashem. ואהבת את השם אלוקיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. It's written בקריאת שמע. And it's not only finding the merit of others, because if we don't find the merit of ourselves, we can't find the merit of others. And there's a beautiful story about the Chafetz Chaim. You know, the Chafetz Chaim wrote the book of commandments over slandering. Okay, this is the Chafetz Chaim. And there's a story about the Chafetz Chaim. The once he went out after Arvik from the shul, and there was a Yid, there was a Jewish person in a carriage with horses, and he was going and he saw a Chafetz Chaim. He didn't know that he was the rabbi, the Chafetz Chaim. So he said, he stopped next to him and he said, excuse me, can you help me? And he says, yes, please, what do you want? So he tells him, do you know Rabbi Chafetz Chaim, the righteous rabbi? I want to go and see him. I have a few questions for him. He says, well, I know he lives, and he lives, he told him the place where he lives, and he told him, but you know, he's not righteous like you describe him. A big rabbi? He's not a big rabbi. I know him. And I know him that he's not, and this is the Chafetz Chaim speaking about himself. But the man didn't know that this is the Chafetz Chaim. He says, I know him. And because now every person knows that he can improve himself. So he says, I know him, but he's not righteous like you describe him. He's not a big rabbi like you describe him. The Yid became so angry, so he started cursing this man. He says, how dare you speak about this righteous rabbi like this? Not only he cursed him, he took the stick that he used for the horse, and he started hitting the Chafetz Chaim. Wow! And then he continued to the house of the Chafetz Chaim. Meanwhile, he went in and he was sitting in the room that they were waiting for the Chafetz Chaim. Now the Chafetz Chaim felt so bad. He said to himself, Alav Shalom Zchuto Tagen Aleinu, he said, wow, I'm so sad that I caused another person to curse and to hit another Yid, another Jew. This is how we also as parents should be careful, that we won't cause also our children to explode upon us. We should be, even if we are just, we should be wise. Even if you are just, you should be first wise, to think before you speak. So now he went into the room in order to accept people, and this person comes in. He sees the Chafetz Chaim, immediately he faints. He couldn't believe what he sees. He sees black in front of his eyes, and he faints. So everybody came in to help him, gave him perfume to smell, something that he will wake up. And he wakes up and he starts crying, and he says, I'm so sorry, I didn't know that you are the Chafetz Chaim. You are the big rabbi, you are so righteous. I cursed you, I hated you. Oy, what shall I do now? And the Chafetz Chaim says, Machul lecha, machul lecha, machul lecha. Because of you, I learned a big thing now, that if even a person is not allowed to slander himself. Can you imagine? It says about Rabbi Levi Yitzchak MiBarditchev. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak MiBarditchev, it says about him that one day he was walking and he saw a group of bachurim, of men standing together and speaking. So he told them, what are you speaking? They said, Rabbi, we are gossiping about something, but everything is true. He says, how can you gossip about Jewish people? On the Tefillin of Hashem, it's written, Mi ke'amcha Yisrael goy echad ba'aretz. Who is like the Jewish people, one nation? If you slander a Jewish person, it's like you're slandering Hashem's, because this is the children, this is his firstborns, this is the sons and the daughters of a king. How can you slander the Jewish people? And when we slander, we can I'll say it like this, it's so hard to do tshuva over it. You know why? Once a person came to a rabbi and asked him, he told him, why is it so harsh when you slander a person that Hashem considered as like 3 sins, that this is slandering. I'm not speaking about saying lies about a person. And chas v'shalom, writing lies about a person. Or doing it on the internet, because this is a sin. When you do it also on the internet or writing it, it's a sin that then repeats it. Even if you die, still on the internet the video goes on. So it's a sin that has children. Continuation, but has toladot. That has toladot. That has like children, because it can, even if you're not in this world, it continues. Can you imagine? So he came to a rabbi and he'd asked him, this is considered like 3 sins that you should die and not do it. This slandering, saying the truth about the person. So he told him, I'll give you an example. He said, please, he says, take a pillow that has feathers inside, go to the roof of the shul, take a knife, cut the pillow, and just throw the feathers by the wind. Let them go by the wind. Okay, so he did this, and all of the feathers went all over for all corners of the wind. And then when he came back to the rabbi, now he said, okay, now take a nylon bag and start collecting all of the feathers. So the person told the rabbi, are you kidding? I don't know, the wind spread it all over. How can I find all the feathers? He says, this is slandering. How can you ask forgiveness, even if you go to that person? All of the people that heard it, all of the people that boycotted him, this person, all of the people that had a dark duma, that even if they didn't know him already, and they had a prejudgment over him. All of the people, how can you go and now tell them, no, I'm sorry, I didn't do the right thing. This is a righteous person. I'm sorry that I spoke with him. Please, Hashem, forgive me. He says, how can you do this? And furthermore, he says, Hashem wants peace. Hashem didn't find a vessel that contained blessings to the children of Israel except for peace. And that's why he also brings a tzipor. Because tzipor is a bird, in Hebrew is tzipor. Tzadik is 90, Pei is 80, 90 plus 80 is 170, Reish is 200, so 200 plus 170 is 370, and Vav is 6, 376. 376 is shalom, is peace. Shin is 30, Lamed, Shin is 300, Lamed is 30, Vav is 6, Mem is 40, 336. Hashem wants to show us that he wants that our words will bring peace among the children of Israel. So there was a peddler that went through city to city and village to village in Israel, and he came to Tzipori. And over there he had merchandise, and he used to say that he has a medicine that brings life. Who wants a medicine that gives you life and gives you a long life? Everybody used to come around him. So Rav Yanai heard this, and he said, this is very, very interesting. So he went down from his home and he came to him and he said, please show me the medicine that gives you long life. He says, Rabbi, I'm not showing it to you and other rabbis because you're righteous. You don't need to see it. He says, please show me. So he says, he opens the Tehillim and he goes to chapter 34 and he reads to the rabbi. Mi haish shechafetz chaim, who is the person who wants life, ohev yamim, that loves the days, lirot tov, that he will see good in the days that he lives. Netzor leshoncha mira, prevent your tongue from saying things and evil things. Usfatecha midaber mirma, and your mouth from saying slandering, from saying lies. Sur mera ve'aseh tov, which means don't do the commandments that you are commanded not to do. Don't do them. Ve'aseh tov, and the commandments you are commanded to do them. Bakesh shalom, seek peace, ve'ratfeu, and pursue it. So this is, if a person wants life, mi haish shechafetz chaim, who wants life, he should keep his tongue. And then furthermore, and see that your mouth will not slander anyone and will not lie about anyone. And you follow the commandments of Hashem and you seek peace and you persuade peace. This is what you want in your home, inner peace with yourself. Find the good things, because you cannot mefargen, you cannot give good words or find the merit of others if it's hard, if you always see the things that you lack, that you think that you lack in yourself. So always be happy with the creation of Hashem. And always try to be a better human being. Be deservable of the term human being. And remember, Mavet v'chaim b'yad halashon, that death and life is in the hands of the tongue. I would like to bless all of us that we will all have, b'siyata dishmaya, the zchut, the merit to greet Mashiach tzidkenu b'chamim murim b'mera b'yameinu amen. Eliyahu navi zachurna tov, לעולם ייפרד אדם מדבר, לעולם ייפרד אדם מחברו בדבר הלכה, יחיד ברבים הלכת כרבים, ובעזרת השם תלינו בטוב ותקיצו בשועה ורחמים.